Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. This is a very exciting moment. Once again, we come to you live. This is none other but Lena's Church, Embu, where we usually say that we are 100% kings and 100% worshippers. We thank God for yet this exciting moment that we are coming to you because we have a program that we are discussing to you, that is courtship. I want you to ensure that you tune in, stay with us, please. Also ensure that you share our video and then write your question, and the question is going to be answered. We want to look at courtship today. I want to welcome you all. As you do that, may the Lord God bless you so much. Today I want to usher in our guest so that he can perhaps introduce himself to our studios today, and the Lord is going to bless us so much. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, my host today. My name is John Mukundi. I am the senior pastor of Reina's Church, Embu. And I thank God because of yet again giving us another opportunity so that we can be here and share the word of God, assist young men and women who are about to marry.
Yes.
So that we can be in a position to show them the way. The reason is because there is a way that seemeth right to a man, but the end thereof is destruction. And that is why we are thanking God because of giving us an opportunity, giving us a chance. As my host has told you, in case you have any question, then it is important that you ask that question, and we'll be in a position to read it, and we'll be in a position to answer you within the shortest duration that we are here with my host, Pastor Karani.
Thank you very much. As you have heard, we are together with the senior pastor, Reverend John Mokundi of Reina's Church, Embu. Reina's, we are in Embu town, Dar Estate. We are also in Katangaride, nearby Katangaride Tea Factory. Them that are around those areas, you can join us so that we can be blessed together in Reina's Church. I want to remind you, as we start this show, I want to remind you that keep on sharing this video and send your question, and the question will be answered right here this moment about courtship, and the Lord is going to really bless you. My guest today, I want you to start by defining courtship.
Now, courtship is actually that period of time that when a man or a boy or a young man really would want to get into a marriage covenant with a lady, that duration of time that they have to stay together so that they can know each other,
Yes.
then that duration is what we call courtship. If I may get into the scriptures in Matthew chapter number 1,
Yes.
Verse number 18 and verse number 19, the Bible says there was a certain man who was pledged to be married to a girl that was called Mary. And that young man was called Joseph. And therefore that pledge that to marry in a bid to learn a person or to know your lifetime partner,
Yes.
then that one is what we may call courtship. Yes.
So courtship is that duration, a partner, a man and a lady stay together to understand each other. Thank you very much, sir. I also want you to speak on this. When is the best time to be in courtship?
I think the timing of courtship is very, very important, because some people get into courtship very, very early. And that one has some problems, because the more you stay with a person, the more you learn the weaknesses of that particular person.
Yes.
And if you have not entered into a covenant of marriage, when you get into that particular relationship, what happens is that you may end up also breaking, and it is a weakness that you could have otherwise solved. And therefore some also others get into courtship very late. And when they get into courtship very late, it simply means that they won't have enough time to be in a position to know each other. And therefore there is a problem when we get to courtship very early and when we get to courtship very late. We are supposed to actually get into courtship when we are just about to. Remember also Songs of Solomon says you should not arouse love before it's time. And therefore, if you get to it very, very early, again, I totally believe that you'll be arousing love very, very early.
Wow.
Yes.
So we are hearing from the man of God that when we enter into the relationship, into courtship very early, it's a problem. When we enter into it very late, it's also a very big problem. I want first to recognize them that are watching us. Thank you, Kamote Joel, for joining us. Thank you very much. This is Wangeri Abe, Wangeri Ambi, Lawrence Macharia, thank you. Mumbura Lawrence, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Evans Ireri Nyaga. Thank you for joining us. We are talking about courtship, and we want to educate our young people and those people who are in courtship. And the man of God has said very well that we should not enter into it very early, and we should not enter into it too late. That is something we need to note. Man of God, what are some of the few problems that arise when a person enters into it too early and too late? Mention about two problems or challenges that can affect these people before we continue.
Yeah, before I also mention those, I would like to recognize also Eric Monene,
Yes, Eric,
who is
thank you.
joining us, following us from Kenyatta Road. We
Wow,
really
wow, wow.
appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
And I must also recognize James Kimathi, Joseph Josephine. I also want to recognize the man of God, Charles Donga,
Wow.
Apostle. He is actually saying, you are doing well, sir. We really appreciate God. Then James Kenyua Kimudo.
Yes.
This has been my classmate sometimes back, and I really appreciate you because also of following us.
Yeah.
Now, it is good that you said, I said the question that you have answered, you have asked me, that what are some of the problems?
Yeah.
I have said one of the problem when you get into that courtship very early is that you may bore one another. Human beings have a tendency.
Yeah.
They get bored with the staying. When you stay together, you get bored sometimes.
Oh, yes.
Because nothing changes so much in a person, especially his personality.
Yeah.
And therefore, what happens is that when you stay in courtship very early, what happens is that you can get bored. But again, I have said when you get to courtship very late, what happens is that you may end up not knowing the person that you intend to marry, because you also require some span of time, so that you can be in a position to know that particular person.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. Somebody is asking here, and it's good that we answer this question from Charles Njogona. He is asking, what age is too early and what age is too late? That statement was very ambiguous. So we need to clarification. When we say early, what age in terms of years, and when we say too old in terms of the age bracket, please, sir?
In terms of the age bracket, this is the time when a person needs to marry.
Yes, sir.
And I usually would not advise a person when they need to marry.
Yes.
Because again, it depends with how
the mindset,
and how prepared you are. There are some people that marry as early as early. When they are 20 years.
I have a friend of mine who married at 18.
At 18 years, and still now they are okay.
They are together, yes.
And also I know of a lady who got married at the age of 16.
16 years.
Yes, and you know in Kenya, age 16 is an age that is required by law for you to get married.
Wow.
So according to law, of persons.
Yes.
So you can be, you can know that these kind of things, like these issues about when to marry and when not to marry, then I may leave it to as an open check, so that somebody may fill in his gaps.
According to how a person feels, he also is ready to take the responsibility.
Because marriage is an issue of responsibility. Yes.
So when talk about the issue of too early and too old, that will be determined by the person.
That will be determined by the person. Like personally, my age to marry was 23.
Yes.
And I married at the age of 23.
Wow.
And I have been married for many years now.
Yes.
If I say how many years, they will calculate my age.
And that which is not good in this forum. we thank you for that wonderful. So when talk about them that are asking about the age, you are the person to dictate on the age bracket, because some of us will take responsibility as early as at the age of 18, whereas others will take responsibility with 35 years of age.
Yes.
And therefore the man of God says that you should be the right person. We also want to thank Geshovi Victoria for joining us, Beatrice Joy, thank you for joining us, Maggie Mike, thank you. Let's channel our question here, so about courtship, so that we can be able to address them, and the man of God is here and he is going to answer those questions. Man of God,
yes.
What would you say should be the duration of courtship?
Now, I bet you are asking how long should
How
the
long?
courtship
Yes,
stay?
last for. Your
Yes,
duration.
that one is also a very tricky question that you are asking.
Yes.
Because how long the courtship should stay, actually it is not recommended.
Yeah.
Again, it depends with how fast you can be in a position to understand the other partner.
Wow.
Because if you can understand him within or her within 2 months, then the courtship should last for 2 months.
2 months, okay.
If you can be in a position to understand that person,
Yes, sir.
for 3 years, then the courtship should go for 3 years.
Yes.
That is why it is very, very important that you keep on asking yourself, how long shall I be in a position to understand that particular person?
Wow. That is very, very, very interesting.
Yes.
If we talk about the duration of courtship, it depends on how fast you can be able to understand your partner.
The other
That
person,
that
because
is
the essence of courtship is actually information. So if I can be in a position to get more information, then it simply means within a short time, it simply means that duration
Yes,
should
sir.
be for a short time. Yes.
That is very, very interesting. Actually, if you can be able to understand your partner for 3 months, then your courtship is over. You are good to go. Thank you, Frederick Murubi, for joining. Madam Kanyika Mwawana, we also welcome you. Thank you for joining. Ensure you are sending your question and ensure you are also sharing this so that we can reach as many people as possible. We are talking about courtship, and the man of God has just answered a very critical question here: duration that a person should take in courtship. So does it mean, man of God, that if you are not able to understand your partner for 10 years, you should continue with courtship?
Continue with the courtship until
Wow.
you are able to understand that particular person, because what is the essence of courtship? Remember, we said that courtship is a pledge to marry. In a bid to, you spend some time in a bid to be in a position to learn and to know your lifetime partner.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I can see Jason Ireri saying Moto Sana. Thank you, sir, for following us. You have been always following us. Thank you very much for tuning in. Betty Vio, thank you also for tuning in. Every question should be channeled
Betty
to us here.
Ivonne.
Betty Ivonne, thank you.
Yes.
Sorry for that. Betty Ivonne, thank you for tuning in. And we are still moving on with the man of God. And we are still discussing on courtship. Man of God, there are some of the things that I want to ask you here. Is courtship a must in every relationship?
Is courtship a must?
Is it a must?
Before I answer that question, is also
Yes, sir.
good that I acknowledge what my daughter is saying, Mike.
Yes, sir.
That there is great wisdom here. We really appreciate. And Pamina's karaoke, thank you. Also because of joining. Purity Modoni Mbogo,
Yes.
all the way from Nairobi.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you because of the good work. That is another daughter of mine, another Reina in Nairobi.
Wow.
So we really appreciate. And what I would want to say, you have asked,
Is courtship a must?
now is courtship
A must,
a must
in
every
relationship?
Now, what I want to say is that it is important that you know that question has two answers.
Yes. We are ready to hear them.
Yes,
Yes.
and no.
Yes and no answer.
Yes.
So I want you to answer on the side of yes and then go to no. Please ensure you are.
Courtship is a must.
It is a must.
The reason is because it is important that you know your partner whom you will spend the rest of your time with. It is simply a must. Because how do you get into a marriage covenant that will stay for years? And the Bible says in Malachi chapter 2 that God hates divorce.
Yes.
And you do not take enough precautions on how you are going to get into that relationship.
Yes.
And therefore, yes, it is a must.
It is
that
a
you
must.
should get.
That is on the side of yes.
Yes.
So
On
let's
the
go.
side of
no.
no,
Yes.
I think if you are able to know the person, then why should you quote?
Now, the
So
question
the
is,
issue is, if you already know the person,
yes,
that you
there is no
intend-
need for courtship.
there is no need for courtship. Perhaps you grew together, you did everything together, and you need any more time.
You
to
need
court-
not more time.
Yes.
My view, this is the very first time I have had a question being answered with yes and a no. And it seems these answers are very correct here. I want also to recognize Frederick Murubi is saying, wow, learning is earning, tuned. So he is saying that he is benefiting a lot. There is Pepean Makwas Peter, tuned in. As I'm from that Mombasa is from
Mombasa.
Mombasa. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let's continue channeling our questions, and the man of God is here to answer them. He is saying, Immaculate Kalemi is you are following. Thank you very much. Let's also receive your question. This is a very wonderful forum for learning. We are learning some interesting things here. In fact, I did not know that I can answer a question with yes or a no. With a no, the two can apply. The man of God has answered that. I want to ask something here. What are the don'ts in relationship? Some of the things that are the don'ts in relationship.
There are some wrong things that people actually consider when they are actually in courtship, and these are the things that we are calling the don'ts in relationship. What people keep on doing when they are actually in relationship.
Yes.
One of the things that they do is they check what we call the outside beauty or the outside appearance. You know, when you are in courtship, and all that which you can check is whether a person is beautiful, or whether a person is actually looking nice, is wearing good clothes, he is doing all those things. Then that is what I am calling outside appearance.
Yes.
And when you keep on looking on the outside appearance, then you may actually have some bit of problem, because that one may not give you the true picture of a person.
Yes, sir.
Because even devil, the Bible says, masquerades as the angel of light. And therefore, you may get somebody that looks like he is very, very okay on the outside. The way they are speaking English, it is Queen's English.
Wow.
The way they are walking, they are catwalking the best way.
Yes.
And you get deceived by thinking that this is the person now that I should get into relationship with, only to realize that you have come with a devil in the house.
Oh my.
And that one may not really be good. And therefore, the don't in the first don't I would say in courtship is actually that you should be careful that you shouldn't check on the outside appearance.
Yes.
The second don't that I would want you not to do in courtship is that you should not actually check the cultural and the family background.
The cultural and family background.
The cultural and the family background.
Yes, sir.
Now, many people keep on looking at the cultural and the family background. They keep on checking where the person has come from.
Yes.
They keep on checking which tribe is the person from.
Yes.
They keep on checking on what else? They keep on checking whether their family is rich, it is a well-to-do family or not. But they forget that that is not the person they want to marry.
Wow.
You are not marrying a clan. You are not marrying a
family.
tribe. You are not marrying a family.
Yes.
You are actually marrying an individual. And therefore, it is very, very wrong to consider the cultural, the family background.
Yes.
Number three, when in courtship, number three thing is that should not be done. It is about background. The education, education background.
Yes.
Education background simply means you look at the person, whether the person has this degree or he doesn't have a degree, whether he is secondary level or whether primary level. I would want to caution people here and tell them that you are not marrying degrees, you are marrying a wife.
Very true.
And that is why you need some of those things. You need not to be, they can be improved.
Yes.
Those are some of the things that can be improved.
Yes.
And the fourth don't that I would want to tell people that they should not engage into,
Yes.
it is about the age. They look at the age and time. I know I will get a lot of people
Yes.
that will tell me, it is good to consider the age.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, age is just but a number. And therefore, people should not consider that who saying the lady cannot be older than the husband. They look at age a lot. That's
Yes.
age background. Another don't that I would want to tell people not to look at is the economic standards, because people look at money.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
And in our seminars we have been told everywhere
Yes.
that you are supposed to keep on looking whether the man has money. That
Yes.
one is a factor that can change.
Yes.
The reason why I have told you about all those factors,
Yes.
I have told you it is because these factors can change.
Sure.
It is possible to change the financial status of a person.
Yes.
It is possible to change the outward appearance of a person. It is possible to change the beliefs and cultures of a person. It is
Very true.
possible to change the education background.
Uh-huh.
And therefore, if we look at all those things, then it simply means that we are looking at the wrong things, which is not
Which are
right.
not necessary.
Yes.
In a courtship.
Yes.
We are getting this sound and clear that there are some of the things that we need not to look at when we are in courtship, because some of those factors are subject to development.
Yes.
They can be changed. You can as well have a wife who is not schooled, but you can make sure that she is developed, because you are not marrying the education, and we are not saying that the education is bad. You really don't look at how the pocket of the man, because it is not the pocket. You are marrying a person, and you cannot judge a person by the present condition. There are some of the people who are joining us. Julius Boko is joining us. Thank you. Keep watching and sending your question. Catherine Wanja, Erainja Kanyange is also watching. Winnie Chris, this is Ms. Apostle Chris from Embu. Thank you for joining us. There is a question here, man of God.
Yes.
And I want to pass this question at you. The question reads, what Eric Munene is asking, what about if you understand each other, but it is affected by other factors like dowry, wedding, and other economic matters? And he is mentioning economic matters, and you have tackled and mentioned about that. What do you have to say concerning that, sir?
Now, when we talk about you are understanding each other, but it is affected by other factors.
Yes.
Those other factors are the ones that I would say they should not affect you.
Yeah.
The reason is because if you love each other, there is a way you can circumvent around all these other factors, so that you can live together as a husband and a wife.
Yes.
And that is why it is very, very important that you also learn that other factors, there is a way they can be circumvented.
Yes.
Yes.
There is a way we can deal with other factors, so they cannot be something that can hinder you. We have Tony Mogendi who is joining us. Thank you. Firis Wangesi, thank you for joining us. Ensure that you are sending your question, because this is where every issue concerning courtship, we are dealing with it. We have the man of God here who is full of wisdom, and he is actually helping us in a very, very, very special way. Man of God,
Yeah.
what are some of the things that we ought to do in relationship, in courtship? Some of the do's now of courtship.
Yeah, several things that we need to do in courtship.
Yes.
I would say that I would talk about 5 considerations or 5 clear answers that you must get every time you are in courtship.
5 clear answers
That you must get from the other partners,
Why?
from the other partner
Yes.
when you're in courtship.
Uh-huh.
And number 1 is you have to get clear answers on how to deal with finances. Both of you.
How to deal with finances.
How to deal with finances.
Yes.
When you are both of you. It simply means that when you are in courtship, you need to discuss things like how do we get our incomes, and how do we share our responsibilities, financial responsibilities. That one is very, very clear.
Yes.
The reason is because many people and research has shown that many marriages break, the main reason
Yes.
being finances.
Finances.
And therefore, if you do not clearly speak about finances, then you can be sure that you are mistaking and you are not doing it right. You are not getting it right as far as marriage is concerned.
Yes, because there is this saying, man of God.
Yes.
Because of that point that says that there are some ladies who say that their money is their money.
Yes.
And the husband money is our
money.
So that is why it is important. In courtship, you talk about the issue of finances. We are getting it from a financial analyst and a person with wisdom and the grace of God. So you should not ignore this. If you are in courtship, ensure the topic of finance you handle. Let's continue, man of God.
Yeah, it is very, very important that we talk where we will get money.
Yes.
Who will be buying gas.
Yes.
Who will be buying
Paying the
cooking
school
oil,
fees, yes.
who will be paying school fees. You talk about all those things when you are in courtship. Finance is very, very important.
Yes, sir.
The second thing that I would want to propose that we talk and you get clear answers on when you're in courtship,
Yes.
is actually how to deal with in-laws and relatives.
In-laws and relatives.
Yes.
Yes.
Many people also break in a relationship because of, you mishandled my mother. And it is the way you mishandled my father the other day.
Okay.
And therefore they keep on breaking and breaking because they haven't thought of how to deal with their in-laws. Now, many preachers, me included,
Yes,
we
sir.
usually suggest this way.
Yes.
That when it is a matter to deal with the husband's
Mother.
in-law, then it requires that the wife
Yes.
handles that matter.
Wow.
When it is the side of the lady,
Yes.
then let the husband deal with that matter.
That is great wisdom.
That is
I
the
want
wisdom
you to
for-
repeat that point again.
Yes.
As you project to our camera.
Yes.
Ensure you are telling somebody who is listening to us concerning how to deal with our in-laws, because we want to safeguard our marriages in future. Tell them that are in courtship once again, sir.
I am telling you, them that are in courtship, that it is important that you iron out the issues regarding your in-laws and how to deal with your relatives. The reason being that if you do not deal with your in-laws and your relatives, what will happen is that it will have a ripple effect and a band effect on you. And that is why I propose this way, that when it is a matter that deals with the husband's in-law, let the wife handle it. And when it is a matter dealing with the wife's side, let the husband handle it. By so doing, it will strike a balance between the two families.
Wow. That is very good. Thank you. I can see Justin Kejero is watching us. Thank you for watching us, man of God, all the way from Mbuge Kore. We welcome you. We are speaking on the do's in our courtship, some of the things. And the man of God has mentioned too, the way you deal with your, the way you will handle finances, and also the way you shall handle the in-laws, so that you can safeguard your marriage even in future. We are still continuing, and we are saying that wherever you are watching us, you can channel your question to us, and we are going to answer the question right here, and the Lord is going to bless you as you get this wisdom. Man of God, we can continue with the those do's. Number 3, what else?
Number 3, what I would want to say is that the third thing that you need to handle when it comes and to get a clear answer when it comes to courtship is that you have to discuss the issue of children.
Wow.
Discuss the issue of children.
Children.
Issue of children, you have to discuss 3 things. You have to discuss, number 1, how many children would you want in your marriage? You have to ask yourself, do we get 3 children? Do we get 1?
Yes.
Do we get 10?
Yes.
Because that is something that you need to actually get a very clear answer. Because I realize, and don't ask me how I came to know, but a man will always get satisfied after the firstborn.
Wow.
They wouldn't even bother
Bother
getting
about-
another one.
Uh-huh.
But a lady will not get a satisfaction until they get around 3 children.
Uh-huh.
So it is very, very important that people discuss about issues regarding children.
Yes.
Because if you do not discuss that issue, how many children you get, you can always draw from different direction. Because you won't be feeling like this one is telling me we move this way, I am not prepared, and you break up in your marriage.
Wow.
The second thing about children that I would want to you to speak about, it is the lack. In case you lack those children,
In case you are not able to bear
in
children,
case you are unable to bear children,
yes,
what shall you be doing?
how will you handle the situation?
How will you handle the situation? People are supposed to think about that issue.
Because it is
very,
not
very
automatic.
important. It is not automatic.
Yeah.
And we have seen marriages that are broken as a result of actually lack of children.
Yes.
Marriages where the husband could be as impotent or the wife is barren. We have seen marriages that are breaking as a result of that.
Yes, sir.
You need also to discuss how to raise those children.
How to raise them?
How will you raise them?
Yes.
Which schools would you want them to move to?
I see.
You are supposed to discuss that issue and let it be very clear
Yes.
as you talk about it.
Wow.
And you need also to discuss, do you have any child out of wedlock?
Uh-huh.
You are supposed to discuss that one very clearly.
Yes.
So that when the other person takes you to court and tells you, please, I want you to be taking care of this child, your wife doesn't get surprised.
It is,
because
will not
she
come as a
already
surprise.
knows
Yes.
that you have another person
Yes.
outside.
You have another, yes.
Yes.
You
So
understanding
it is,
everything.
It is important that we also discuss about the children that are out of wedlock.
Wow. We are getting information on some of the matters and the issues that we should discuss in our courtship. Oh, I'm just trying to ask myself whether some of them that are watching us, them that are in courtship, do you discuss these things? Or else you are discussing the don't, thinking you are in courtship and you are getting all the information. Listen to this. An elderly person is speaking to us today that there are things we need to discuss concerning children and all those things. I want to recognize Agnes Morugi for following us, saying tuned. I also want to recognize Eric Kibaki, who is watching us from Naivasha. Thank you very much. I also want to recognize Firis Wangesi from Kutus. Welcome. Thank you very much. There is a question here, man of God.
Yeah.
What situation? Okay, if there is a situation where one party have no job, how will finance be handled? That is a question that is coming from Eric Kibaki. He is asking, if one of the partner has no job, he or she is jobless, how will the issue of finances be handled?
Now, remember, we are talking about issues to do with courtship. So at such a time, they are not married.
Yes.
So I would tell Eric that the best way now they ought to do is to actually sit down and discuss. Now I have a job.
Yes.
You do not have a job.
Yes.
So how do we continue?
Yes.
That one should be an element of discussion as far as courtship is concerned and finances are concerned. Yes, Catherine Wanja also says she is tuned in from Embu.
Wow,
and we really appreciate you.
Welcome very much. We are told that we should discuss the issue of finances. And now, that question reminds me, man of God. We have a pandemic that is that has really affected the economy, and we have seen people who are fired and all those things. So that is to tell us that if we discuss this in courtship, in such situation, you can be able to know that a husband is left in job and the wife is not in job, he is in unpaid leave. So that is why I think also it is very important to talk about finances when we are in courtship.
That is true.
Yeah,
That is
this is a
true.
very good example that we are passing through hard times where majority of people are staying at home, and we are told stay home and you stay safe. And then the question is finances, and the man of God is talking to us here that you should deal with that issue in courtship. I want to ask, are there some other do's that we need to keep on looking at while in courtship?
The fourth thing, I
The
will talk
fourth thing.
about five. So I
Five.
am
We have
remaining with the two.
two. We have talked about three.
I have talked about you need to discuss finances, you need to discuss in-laws
Yes.
and relatives, how to deal with them. I
Yes.
have talked about you need to talk about the issue of children.
Yeah.
And number four, it is important to talk about past relationship and friends.
Repeat again, sir.
Past relationships and friends.
Yes.
You have to talk about those relationships.
Past relationship.
Yes, the reason is because, and I know you remember when we began this
Program.
broadcast,
Yes.
we talked about insecurity.
Yes.
And as we were talking about insecurity in a relationship, one of the main causes of insecurity is actually past relationship. And therefore, if at all we are talking about past relationship,
Yes.
people require to ask themselves, who are my boyfriend, who was my former boyfriend, who was my former girlfriend? People require to actually bring these things to light.
Yes.
The moment they bring these things to light, then I know it will be in a position to settle itself.
Yes.
Reason is because the other person would definitely know that other person you had been in a relationship with.
Very sure. True.
Yes.
There is a question that is coming in here, and I want to remind them that are watching us, you share and also send your question to us. And the man of God has said that ensure that you talk about past relationship. In another term, we call them the ex-girlfriend, the ex. That ex, ensure that your partner is aware about the ex, because in one way or another, they can do something that can ruin what you are building. Frederick Murubi is asking something here. He's saying, among the do's, can your fiancé on some test to see? Can you now? He is trying to tell us that can you put your fiancé on some test to see if he or she will pass the exam, especially on finance and faithfulness.
That is the essence of courtship.
Wow.
You cannot say that you are in courtship and you are not subjecting people to test.
Yeah.
Remember, she should pass or he should pass
All the tests.
all the tests for him to be in a position to be given a marriage certificate.
Yes.
I have heard somebody say that a marriage certificate is a certificate that you are given before you do the exam.
Yes.
But it is very, very important that you also learn that sometimes it is good to do the pre-exams
Yes.
before you get that certificate. Because once you subject yourself into that, how will you be in a position to move out? And even if you move out, you will leave a scar that will hurt you forever.
Yes.
You better break it before that certificate
Yes.
than to break it after that certificate.
So actually there is an exam. It's only that people are not aware it is exam time.
Yes, courtship is simply exam time.
Wow.
And therefore you are supposed to give the other party exam.
Yes.
And you are the person with the marking scheme. And your marking scheme is not the same as my marking scheme.
Sure, very true.
Yes.
Now, concerning that issue of testing a person,
Yes.
there are people who are, when we are in relationship, some of them, they love each other. And therefore, when you are tested, you feel as if the other party does not trust you. And you, some people behave as if they are annoyed and all those things. Could it be that those people have failed the exam?
Now, it depends with the person who has the marking scheme.
Yes.
Remember, I have said the marking scheme is different for different individuals.
Yes.
And therefore, my marking scheme, if I realize you haven't passed my marking scheme, then it is a failure on your side.
Yes.
But also there are some people who, if somebody, I do not pass your marking scheme,
Yes.
and somebody else gets the same exam, you give him the same exam, and they pass. So it depends.
Wow.
Yes.
So it is always good, and the man of God is saying, courtship, in fact, it is an examination time that you need to keep some of the things and the characters and the traits of your partner. You cannot know them, not unless you subject them into a test. And therefore, if you are tested, praying God that you pass the exam, and that you may be able to pass and get a clean certificate. Man of God, we are talking about the do's, and you have talked about 4 of them. You have said that you mentioned about 5. So, which is the other do that we need to talk about when we are in courtship?
Another thing that you must get clear answer in courtship is simply about religion.
Religion. Yes.
You need to ask yourself where you shall be going to church, or how you shall be serving in church.
Yes.
Because I have seen also many people breaking because of religion. I have seen people that ladies who actually wake up very early in the morning to go to church so that they can cook tea for the pastor.
Oh my
at
goodness.
6. And you realize the person who is their husband hasn't even taken that tea in the morning.
Yes.
And therefore sometimes it is good that we also get very clear answers regarding religion.
Yes.
So that we know that our church, this is how I shall be serving.
Yes.
We shall go to this church. Another thing about religion is now I belong to Reina's church.
Yes.
And another person belongs to X church.
Yes.
And therefore, how do we cope? Do we, number one, do you move if it is the lady who belongs to A church?
Yes.
Do I go to B church where my husband goes?
Yes.
Or the husband moves from B church to A church,
yes,
where the wife goes? Or they decide that we leave A and B church, we
yes,
go to C church. Now, those are some of the logistics that you need to keep on asking yourself
concerning
regarding religion.
Wow.
Yes.
That is a very good, those are some of the 5 do's that we need to talk about when we are talking about our courtship. It's always good. And religion, the man of God has also said that we should sit down and also discuss, because there are some of us who are coming from different religion, the other one from a different. Who should leave his religion so that he can join the other? That's something you should discuss while in courtship. Frederick Murumbi is saying, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I have the marking scheme. And I say, my neck haini party. Thank you very much for that. You have the marking scheme. This is in the courtship. Perhaps, man of God, I want you to speak on some of the few things here as we come, as we are nearing to conclude. Can you please talk on some of the sin that are always there in courtship, or that are likely to be found in courtship?
Now, I will talk about a few prevalent sins that we find in courtship. And it is important that we talk about those things.
Yes, sir.
Number one is premarital sex. That one is a sin that comes when people are in courtship. I realize that there are some people who actually say we are about to marry, and therefore you can sleep together.
Yes.
And in the process they get children, and in case they break when they have not gotten to marriage, also it becomes a problem. So
yes,
that one is something that I have seen. It is called premarital sex. And then the other thing that I have seen that happens when we are in courtship is heartbreaks.
Yes, sir.
You realize some people break each other a lot, and they hurt each other. They remain with the scars.
Yes.
I have seen a lady who was saying, I will never get married. Reason is because that person broke my heart. The moment that happens, then it becomes a problem.
Yes.
In life.
Wow. That's a very, very good answer and some of the things that we need to do when we are in courtship. Somebody is asking a question here that is very, very interesting. As Christians and also human beings, can we kiss? That is the first question he is asking in relationship. And how do we overcome any temptation of sexual in our courtship? How can we be able? Number one question, man of God, can people kiss in courtship? And how can they overcome this aspect of sleeping together?
Remember, there is something that I said pretty early when we were beginning this podcast. And I said that it is important that you do not provoke love and you do not arouse love before it's time. And therefore, when it comes to things like kissing and romancing,
yes,
what actually happens is that there is usually a problem.
Yes.
The reason is because when people begin kissing, you are arousing love before it's time, and you may end up falling into those prevalent sins that we have talked about.
Yeah.
And therefore, I wouldn't advocate kissing in courtship.
Yes.
Because it won't provoke love.
Yes.
And then the second question that is asked is how do we overcome sexual sin in relationship?
Yes.
Number one, it is social distancing.
Social distance is not only in COVID-19 for them that are watching us.
Yes,
Yes.
It is simply you must keep on distancing yourself.
Thank you.
The closer you are,
Yes.
the easier. You cannot commit sexual sin when you are a distance far.
Yes.
So you have to make sure that you are distance far from the person you can commit that sin with. And
Very
therefore, it is as simple as that.
Wow.
So keep yourself at
Keep
distance
at
far.
distance.
And number two, sex loves secrecy.
Yes.
And therefore, make sure that whatever you do it in the open.
Yes.
People do not go and have sex anywhere. Yeah, they do not do it anywhere.
Yes.
They simply do it in a secretive place.
Yes.
And that is why it is important that you learn also to do things in the open.
Yes.
So don't meet in a very tiny place, corner somewhere.
Yes.
And at night. That one will definitely cause you to be to end up in sin.
That is very, very profound. Them that are asking our question, your question, we are able to deal with your question here and then. So ensure that you have distance. Ensure not even 1 meter. Ensure it is 2 meters. In relationship, it's not like COVID. So ensure that you stay a distant further. I can also see Masenyaga and Erija. Okay, you are still watching us. You are Erija is saying great debates. We are educating each other concerning that. Mother Mukanyika Mawana, thank you very much. He is summarizing some of the things that we are talking about: religion, past relationship, children, in-laws, stroke relatives, and finances. Thank you very much. I want to believe there are some people who are really getting what we are talking about today. So, we are talking about the sins. What are other? Do we have any other sin that a person can find him or herself in courtship? What are some of other potential sins?
Another potential that we usually have is the potential of overtrusting.
Yes.
When you overtrust a person and that person actually lets you down,
yes,
then you end up also being broken.
Yes.
And once you end up being broken, then it cannot really work out well for future.
Yes.
And therefore, those things have a certain future effect, and I totally believe that it is important that we save ourselves from those future effects.
Wow, thank you. Also, I can also see Michael Modi Mwaneki. He is my friend. Thank you for joining us. Frederick Murubi is saying, wow, social distance live wire more than corona. Caro Mwingi watching, Megwe watching and fully tuned in. Good job, great podcast. That is wonderful. Ensure that you are sending your question even as we come to the conclusion. I can also see Francis Colley. Francis Colley is one of the reverend of gospel in Kirinyaga. Thank you for joining us, man of God. We appreciate you. We are still speaking about courtship, and the man of God has talked about some interesting things that, in fact, don't overtrust. Is that what you are trying to tell us?
Don't overtrust.
If you
Trust
overtrust,
is a man that trusts upon another man.
hey,
Yes.
how will we continue with these things? Oh, you are don't overtrust. You might end up being udden. There is a question that is coming here, man of God. Should we lend and borrow money to each other in courtship? Should we borrow and lend?
That's a very good question.
Yes.
Because money, as I have seen it, I have seen God doing it, that it is a great measure of faithfulness. So if you want to know the faithfulness of a person, it is good that you use the tool of money.
Yes.
Yes. But they usually say that when you are lending money, do not simply lend money to your friends, because you definitely have a problem
When asking for that money.
Yes. So many a times that one becomes a problem, because if they do not pay you, if you must retain them, you must ignore
Yes.
that they have your debt.
Yes.
Yes.
So it is not bad, but we are still being cautioned here by the man of God that we should that you should not lend to your friend.
Yes.
Because friends can show you dust.
Yes.
And you will be unable to ask for them to give you or to refund the money. Man of God, there is a question here I would like you to attend to. Courtship is becoming difficult to jobless people. Partners see each other as parasites. What do you have to say about
Yes.
that?
That is my daughter.
Doris
Gatwiri.
Yes.
I think all the way from Meru.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you. Now, courtship has become very difficult to the jobless, because we have made it very expensive. If we make courtship very expensive, that we have to go to hotels, we have to do A, B, and C.
Yes.
And it becomes very expensive. Then we will never court. We need to make it as simple as possible. Courtship should be simple, so that it doesn't become parasitic relationship.
Wow.
Yes.
That is very good.
It should be synergetic relationship, not symbiosis, and not parasitic relationship.
Another question comes here.
Yes.
And Karo Mwingi says, oh yes, Pastor.
Megwe.
Karo Megwe says, oh yes, Pastor. Tell them, cursed is he that trusts another man or woman, before you know, boom, you are messed up and can't take it back.
Correct.
So,
Carol, thank you, my girl.
Carol
I
is
really appreciate
trying
you.
to support that. I have a question here, man of God, from Anjoe. Anjoe is asking, do you have a word for single parents who might be yearning to date again? Single parent wenye wanataka kudate tena, because kama wewe ni single parent, that's not the end of life. So, do you have a word for those that group of people?
That one is a very difficult question.
Yes, sir.
But Waswahili husema kuvunjika kwa mwiko sio mwisho wa kupika ugali.
Ukweli.
And therefore, I usually sympathize with those single mothers, single parents that are fallen.
Yes.
And singleness can come as a result of many other factors.
Yes.
And I believe God giving us a chance, we will be in a position to speak to single people.
Wow.
And what I would want to say is that it is good to listen to godly direction.
Yes, sir.
So that we can be in a position to lead you in the way you shall go.
Yes.
Because there is a way that leadeth, looketh light in the eyes of man, but in the end thereof it is destruction.
Yes.
So it is good to wait upon the Lord,
Yeah.
and definitely work from the point of information
Thank
from
you.
the Lord.
Thank you very much, man of God. Perhaps we can look at the two last questions, and then we will be concluding. Frederick Murubi is asking, when is the appropriate time to introduce your fiancé to your parents? When is the appropriate time?
Again, that one is a very hard question, The appropriate time is when you are ready now
Yes.
to marry. When you have actually settled with your fiancé,
Yes.
that you are going to get into a relationship,
And you
a
have understood
long-lasting
each other.
relationship.
Yes.
You have done all the tests. You have done all the do's that we have talked about.
Yes.
You have settled on that particular person.
Wow.
I think that is the best time that you can be in a position to introduce them to your parents.
That is the right time.
Yes.
Thank you very much. There is another question. Is there anything like second chance in Christian marriage?
Yes, God is a God of not only a second chance,
Yes.
but of many chances. He can give you a chance even a million times.
Yes.
He can be in a position to allow you to get even many more chances in life.
Yes.
And therefore, I would want to say that there is something like second chance when it comes to marriage.
Wow, there is something like second chance. Our one of our viewer and Joel and asked that question. And I want to believe that your question is well answered. Them that have been asking question, we want to believe that your question has been very, very much answered in this wonderful forum that the Lord has given unto us, so that we can be able to educate and to help the future marriages that are being prepared. Thank you very much for everybody who has been following us. Man of God, I want to give you an opportunity to perhaps say your last ones concerning courtship and any advice that you can give them that are in courtship, even as we conclude this program.
Yeah, I would want to tell my viewer that courtship is a very, very important step in marriage.
Yes.
It is one of the prime ones that actually causes you to make a decision of whether to marry or not. And therefore, the most important thing is that you need to follow God and ask Him for His guidance, so that at the end of the day, you make the right decision in courtship, because it is the key of the many steps that we have in marriage. Otherwise, I am very, very grateful also because of our viewer, because of spending enough time to actually listen to us, and thank you also because of hosting me, Minister Karan.
Welcome. Thank you once again. We have been together with the man of God. He is none other but the senior pastor, Reverend John Mokundi of Reina's Church. We are telling you that Reina's Church is in Embu town and also in Kadangarire, and we say that we are 100% kings and 100% worshippers. If you are within the localities, you are much welcome, even as churches resume, because we have high hopes and faith in God that the churches are going to be open. Let's meet there. If you are within Embu, visit us. We love visitors. Also, them that are in social media, I want to encourage you, please ensure that you like our page. That is Reina's Church Embu. Like our page also. We are in YouTube, where you can also be able to see us, subscribe to our channel, and you will get this kind of insightful discussion and things that can easily influence and change your life, because this is what we are called to do. I want to thank you all for joining us and being there and asking your question, because without you, we could not have delivered that information because of your question. Thank you very much, and God bless you. I want to promise you, even today, we still have another program. This is called Financial Insight at 4 p.m. Ensure you are there. Let us also be taught by the man of God concerning finances. We have mentioned about finances in courtship. Therefore, you will come to also teach us more about finances. Be there at 4. Let's meet. Let's receive this wonderful, wonderful training concerning our finances. Until next time, same time, in same channel, may the Lord God bless you so much. Amen.